guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. Today we are going to run some errands. I'll take you along. I'm into Price Mart. Yeah, so stay tuned. Alright, hey guys, so I'm home. I'm in the kitchen and I'm just gonna show you some stuff that I bought today. I didn't get to video when I was in Price Mart because I was just so out of it. Honestly, I was kind of shocked at how empty the place was. So I was just like, you know, I need to get in quick and get out fast. So basically, I bought Magic shaving powder. Now, even though it says shaving, it acts just like Nair, but it isn't as harsh. Right, and this one doesn't smell as terrible as the blue or the red one. It works really well. So all you do is mix it in some water and you apply it to your skin, leave it on for 7 minutes, and then wipe it off or wash it off. Works like a charm. So I use it on my underwear and my legs. Underwear on the underarm and my legs. Wow. Anyway, I need some fabric softener. Nothing too much. So I bought this one. It was like cheap, like $300. I bought some Scotch Brite to clean certain areas, like the bathtub and stuff. This is a toothpaste I use, Colgate Sensitive, because I have sensitive teeth. I drink a lot of coffee and Pepsi, and over the years, never did me justice. So I have to use sensitive toothpaste. Yeah, man. I knew the consequences, but I still did it anyway. Because I'm in the braids and these elastics keep popping, so I bought some regular ones, and believe me, these are going to finish. They don't make elastics the way they did back then. Soap powder. I'm trying this because I wear white and I just feel like the soap powder cleans it the best, so that's to wash my uniform with. Anyone. By the way, guys, never ever use soap powder on like your Oxford shirts or anything that loses color. Use liquid soap, because the powder soap I find, especially for like the Oxford shirts, the powder soap tends to really like suck the color out, so you get this dull look. And I'm trying these toothbrushes. Am I okay? I'm probably not okay. I'm trying these toothbrushes because I find that the ones, even the Oral-B's that normally works really well, isn't working that well for me. So I'm trying those. Those are normally really rough. Like, what is that? Anyway, those are normally really rough, and I tend to use them for like my edges. But let's see how they go for my teeth. I even used to use it as a tongue brush before I got a tongue scraper. So I got my Christmas gift from Sarah Bison. Thank you. So guys, I have no excuse at this point unless something happens to my phone. God forbid. But one of the challenges I had was editing videos. So like I had to delete them to ensure I had space on my phone and stuff like that. And Sarah Bison brought me a laptop. Talk about investment, yes guys, I got a laptop. It's an HP 15.6 inch high definition PC. I don't take it out and set it up yet because I'm waiting. On what? Absolutely nothing, but I'm waiting. So basically I'm just unboxing the stuff I bought. But this video, I looked up on some medical stories like told by doctors and nurses and patient assistants. In there, I've seen stuff, I've heard stories, but nothing could prepare me for the stories that I read on Reddit or like overall online. So I'm gonna share some of them with you. So mine would have to be when I volunteered as a nursing assistant at the local hospital. On the first day I was there, I was asked if I'd like to assist in bathing an elderly patient. I was told he was near comatose, riddled with cancer and was on death's door. So this is a really, really sick patient, right? I agreed, but nothing could prepare me for the sight of him. His pallid skin was stretched over his bones and his eyes were dull and staring. So basically, he looks sucked down and then his eyes kind of like popped out, right? Most of his skin was purple where his blood vessels had ruptured. He couldn't even speak and screamed when myself and the other nurse had to roll him over because, you know, they most times when persons have cancer, like when I say sucked down, they basically look like they're literally dying. You can see them dying. Some of these patients really suffer. So like just to the basic things like turning, everything is painful. So she said that he was constantly injected with morphine because of the pain. 2 days later, he passed away. I decided the medical profession wasn't for me. Well, I mean, truly, the death, like your first patient, it's kind of like, I don't know. It depends on what you do with the patient a day. Like if as you just get the patient dies. I mean, it feels like you're offering a service to them. So you kind of like never bonded with the patient, you know, it's a stranger to you. But like if you spend the day with the patient, you might feel away, like when you lost a phone, you know, like a phone that you just got, you never got enough time with it, so you know you feel away. But then like if it's a patient that was constantly in your unit with you and a lot of you attended to this patient, etc., then definitely you would feel a kind of way. It's kind of like losing a relative, or like, you know, like a distant cousin or somebody that you knew, or a friend in school. It kind of feels a bit more personal. So yeah, like I mean, death can really show you that this really isn't for you. So I get where this person is coming from. Sad to say, I want to say that this is a good one, but this is an interesting one. A child came to the hospital with cigarette burns dotting his torso. So there were cigarette burns all in these places of hair, right? Almost every patch of skin that could be covered with a t-shirt was scarred. Some of the marks were old, some were very fresh. His parents said it was a skin condition. Listen, pediatrics is for the strong, okay? Don't feel like you're gonna go into a hospital or an institution and go and become a pediatrician as a doctor, or you're going to be a pediatric nurse, or even just an assistant, because sometimes you will see how cruel people can be to children who are helpless. Like your heart have to strong. Like you have to sometimes see children being abused and make a report and hope that the authorities like follow it up and deal with it like in a timely manner, like how you would intercept like right then and there. Like they have a system, so they have to do investigations and stuff, but sometimes you can see it, but you know in court it's what you can prove, so you have to make sure it's solid before them take the opinion. But trust me man, like sometimes you gonna want you like, oh god man, peds is for the strong. If you are a pediatrician or you are a nurse in pediatrics or you're interested in pediatrics, hats off to you. You're strong bad. Like it's hard sometimes. All right, so this one says I am a CNA. I don't really know what that means. I think it's a nurse assistant, and was working with a new nurse cleaning up a patient with either a GI bleed or raging C. diff. So GI bleed, gastrointestinal bleed, or C. diff is basically a bacteria that gets in like your feces and like it causes you to have explosive diarrhea. It's really contagious. So yeah, you can easily pass it on to somebody else. So can't remember, just remember the smell was something awful, and trust me. That smell. Anyway, the nurse couldn't handle it, so she put Vicks on the inside of her mask, but that was too strong. Like in Jamaica here, we like get like peppermint essence and like dab it 2 parts in the mask, but sometimes it make your eyes run, but it works. So while she's holding the patient on his side and I'm cleaning him up, she is alternating between taking a breath inside her mask and outside because both environments were too strong. I told her to grab a new mask, but she refused, just suffered the whole time. Yeah, sometimes it don't make sense. Like you better go for the peppermint or a mask or whatever. Well, now we have to wear masks, so because thanks to the panoramic that's happening. But honestly, that's my least favorite part of nursing. But another thing too, which I always say, think about this. You probably want to use the bathroom really badly and you can't get to the toilet in time, so you might tinkle a little bit in your underwear, right? So you say, okay, you go to the bathroom, you wash it off, and you change your underwear, your bed, whatever, so you're no longer wet. So even a little bit, you're not wet any at all. Just imagine you have to be in a diaper and you pass stool because you have to just lay there and poo, and when you ask somebody to clean you up, they say they will come and don't come, and you end up in it for like more than 4 hours. That's not cool, right? Like, would you really want that for yourself? Would you want that for somebody that you love or care about? No. So for me, even though it's my least favorite part, I really do believe that you need to clean your patients in a very timely manner, because you wouldn't want that for yourself. It's not cool and it's not ethical to have someone laying in feces or urine at any point. So you have to do your best. Yeah, you might be understaffed, the patient to staff ratio might be low, but you and your co-workers devise some kind of system and try work around it. I know it might sound like I don't know what I'm talking about and it's not easy because whatever, but like if you make it a priority, you'll find a way. Next story. So I never read this one before, so we're both discovering this now. Autopsy tech slash death investigates, so the name explains itself. A morbidly obese man had died in a cheap motel room with the heat cranked up and wasn't found for several days. By the time we got him to the morgue, he was horribly bloated from decomp gas. So when you're dying, your body lets off a gas as you start to decompose, yeah. And was purple and green all over. There was lots of skin slip, right? Our forensic pathologist went to make the initial Y incision, and the force of the escaping gas blew gore all over us and the ceiling while making us sound like a wet balloon with the air being pinched out. We all paused for a moment as the worst stink I have ever smelled enveloped the room like something that had crawled out of Satan's anus. Wow, what's a description? Then we burst out laughing because it was all we really could do. It didn't help that he was leaking liquefied fat all over the floor. That stuff is slippery. My boots have never been the same since. Whoa, whoa, give me a second. That one definitely got me a little weak, you know. Man, that's wow, guys. This yogurt is cheaper than the yo plate, and this is really great. I mean, it doesn't taste like a high quality yogurt, but it's just fine. They have it in Greek and everything. Yeah, I needed a yogurt break. This is good. I might eat the other two. Anyway, in my EMT class, an instructor was telling me about one of her calls to a freeway accident. So EMT is emergency medical technician. There were 2 cars involved and one of them had an elderly couple in it. Since she was so small, my instructor is often assigned the job of crawling through the windows of the car to stabilize patients while the crew works on prying the doors open. She crawled into the back seat of the elderly couple's car and held manual C-spine for the woman, which is basically holding someone's head in place to prevent an injury by twisting the spinal cord. As she held the head, it came off in her hands. Whoa, okay. The woman had been decapitated by the accident. She had to take a couple of weeks off after that and talk to a therapist to help cope. I can't imagine what it must have been like to go through something like that. Yep. Wow. Like, you just, and it, wow, that's crazy. Wow. So, that one kind of threw me off and disturbed me a little bit. So, next story. I saw a man just after he was burned in a boiler explosion. Okay. His skin hung in strips off of his body as if it had slipped off. Like how easily the skin of a tomato slips off after it is boiled. Oh dear. Underneath was glistening pink and red flesh. The room smelled of cooked flesh and mechanical grease. The poor man was aware and moaned and screamed in pain. It was terrible. Listen, burns. Burns, guys. Burns. Burns ain't no joke. Okay? Whether you are the nurse or the doctor that's attending to the patient or the actual patient, burns is no joke. It's really, it's hella gross and painful. I like the smell. I got burnt before, 3rd-degree burn. And I remember what it was like taking the gauze off of the area when it was time to do a dressing change. And like the smell and how the oozing looked. I'm traumatized. I am traumatized. So let's go. This wasn't so much what had happened, but what was said. I worked in a nursing home as an aide and was putting one of my favorite residents to bed for the night, and I go to leave the room. She's on alarms because her dementia is so bad that she thinks she can walk on her own and it goes off. I turn around and help her do what's getting up to do, and as I'm tucking her in again, she stops me and says, Jeremy, which is her son's name, you can have the money, just don't beat me. It's not about the money, you can have it, just be a good boy and don't hurt me. Wow. And that's the thing with dementia now, like, you can't just jump on that as a nurse and say her son is actually abusing her and accuse him and then end up in problem. No, it could very well be she's in some kind of fantasy world and imagining stuff. So it's weird. It's weird. Like elderly people could genuinely be being abused and we wouldn't know because dementia. Hmm. So let's go. One of the most horrifying things I have ever seen in the hospital was a guy who overdosed on one of his prescription medications. One of the side effects was priapism, which is erection lasting more than 4 hours. Yeah. Once the doctors got his cardiac and respiratory systems relatively stable, they tried to get rid of this poor dude's erection, which was starting to turn purple, black, blue, basically not the color of the skin. After several non-invasive methods, they did what they had to do. They had to inject drugs directly into the head of his penis, but not one shot, not 2 or 3 or 4, 19 injections into the head of his penis. It was still swollen, bruised, and red 2 weeks later. I wow, wow, guys, wow. Well then, I see. Don't do drugs is a really fitting statement for what we just read, right, guys? So this is the last one, and I'm gonna touch on it a little bit because I see the government is trying to do something about stuff like this, but sometimes I don't know. Like, let's play good cop, bad cop with this one. So I worked at a nursing home that was attached to a small hospital. We ended up with a patient that had come through the ER after her family finally decided it would be wise to call emergency medical services for her. The family claimed she had fallen down the basement stairs and they couldn't get her up. The emergency medical service workers were certain that she was living in the basement because the floor was covered in feces and urine where she had been laying. Wow. Y'all don't believe in God? Then, when the ER doctor was standing over her, he asked, why is her hair moving? Her hair was moving because she was completely infested with lice. Ooh, girl, imagine seeing you see little creepy crawlies going up my head. No. They also found cockroaches in her soiled diaper and her labia, which is basically the vaginal lips. Guys, listen. Listen. Y'all don't have parents that you care about. You don't have like an auntie or like a friend who could become old that might end up in a hospital because it's old. Like, I'm not afraid of God. Like, seriously, how could you drop off your parents in a hospital to get medical treatment, and when the doctor's calling you to come back, you're not answering your phone? On top of you not answering your phone, you gave the wrong address, you gave the wrong number. Social worker trying to find you, them cannot find you to come pick up your relative. Like, what kind of foolish is that? Like, I got beef. I got beef, guys. I got beef. Like, mad beef, okay? Like, seriously. And then you leave them in the hospital. Like, roll back a little bit. Where was I? Right. So you leave them there in the hospital. How it go? Like, I heard another perspective where somebody was saying, what if you don't know your parents, right? But your parents been keeping tabs on you, and when they get sick and they need somebody to put as an next of kin, they just put your name, and you never meet them, or you never had a good relationship with them and stuff like that. I don't know what the solution would be. I could probably think about one, but why? Didn't have to figure out that part, but I'm talking about the ones whose parents were genuinely good to them and them just grew up and wicked. Like, y'all deserve to be sued by the government. I find it so bad when patients become social cases. Like, guys, and even if your parents do you wrong, if it's even for your soul and your peace of mind, like, take care of them. Them not have to do you good for you, but take care of them. Just know, say you did your best, and when they pass, you make peace with yourself. That's what I say, guys. Okay, so I say, so take care of your family members, your loved ones. All right. Anyway, guys, so I hope you enjoy this. Let me know if you're interested in finding out like horror stories overall in life, like things that go wrong. You know, I'll do it. If you want to keep it medical, we keep it medical. If you got a suggestion, drop it in the comment section down below. Okay, guys. I hope you hear me, because like, I live in the bushes, and in the bushes we have bugs and insects that make noise. So hopefully I'm talking loud enough. But anyway, thanks for tuning in, guys. If you like this video, click like. Let's have a discussion in the comment section down below, and don't forget to subscribe. Bye, guys.